Time. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Stellar Woman Show, the magazine that is here to bring you thriving women's stories, knowledge, and experiences so that you too can learn one or two things, make a change, be inspired, and uplift your life. We are here to change perspectives, to reveal possibilities, and to help women to maximize their potential and bring about impact in the world. It's our way in which we can contribute to a better and brighter world because we believe that knowledge is power. But of course, only if it is acted upon. And we believe that all Stellar Women subscribers act upon their knowledge. And my name is Stella Olivia Kikoyo, and I'm the editor in chief of the Stellar Woman magazine and also the host of the Stellar Woman Show. We are excited and thrilled today to bring you another stellar woman. This is Julie Foster. We're fortunate so much to be able to have you, Julie. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Stella. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Fantastic. Now we know I found Julie at a women changing the world afternoon tea in Mastermind where you really delivered in an impactful way. And I immediately knew this was the woman who was going to give us a broad way of light that is going to shine in this world. So Julie, help our subscribers to get to know who are you? Because if they hear the name, who's Julie? So I'm sure people are wondering, who are you?
Well, as you so rightly say, I am Julie Foster. And most of you, all of you, completely will probably have never heard of me. But you will have heard of my husband because I am married to Joe Foster, who is the founder of Reebok. And Joe and I have been together for 34 years, which is a long time, and been married for 20, almost 27 years. So, but before that, I did have a very small life because I've been with Joe since I was 24. So, but yes, so that's who I am. I am Julie Foster, the engine room behind Joe Foster.
Fantastic, fantastic. We know what it means to be behind a powerful man, and that's what we're going to tap into. So, Julie, help us to take us to your backstory, just aspects that help us to know where you were raised. I know that you come into Joe Foster's life at 24 and you've been married to him for 27 years.
Yes.
Yeah, that's quite a long time. So tell us about your childhood, your dreams, because we always want to go back a little bit behind there.
Okay. Well, I was born in Bolton in Lancashire, which is quite close to Manchester. I come from a normal middle class family. I went to grammar school, but I was in the area that I live, I was on the edge of the changeover from grammar schools to comprehensive schools. So I started in a grammar school, but by the time I got to the sixth form element, which we call college, I think now, um, it had changed to comprehensive. And I didn't stay with the sixth form. It wasn't for me. And it wasn't particularly to do with the academic side. It was to do with the environment. It was just not an environment that I thrived in at all. So I left and I went to work. So I went to work for my mother for a very short time. And then I went to work in a very famous local department store in Bolton, which sadly is no longer there. But and then I had my daughter, and then I went to work for Joe, and we've been together ever since.
Oh,
So there you
fantastic.
go. So I don't have there's like I say, I've been with Joe since I was 24. So I didn't do a huge amount though I didn't have a huge amount of life. I had a very normal, very regular job. I worked as the admin person for, at the time, Debenhams were a huge part of the department store, and I was their admin stock control person. So that's what I did. So that's my background is logistics and admin. In work wise, I am I can organize and make everything move.
Make everything happen. Thank you
Yes.
so much for bringing us to Spain with that. And is there a childhood dream that you had before?
Well, I had a couple of career options that didn't really work, but I like most young girls, I was going to be at the time they were called air stewardesses.
Yes.
But at that time, and again, it's a long time ago, and everything has changed. But you couldn't. They had a height restriction.
Oh, yeah.
And I think it was 5'6", and
Ooh.
I'm 5'3", so I didn't. I never made the height thing for to be a cabin steward. But yes, I wanted to be an air stewardess, and then I wanted to be an RSPCA inspector, believe it or not. But then I actually saw a program about it on TV, and that put me off altogether. So that idea went out of the window, and I
Yeah.
ended up with admin and logistics.
Oh, fantastic, fantastic. That's good to know. Height, you can imagine height being one of the reasons why you can't be what you desire to be.
Yeah, but you can now. There is no height restriction.
Fantastic. The world keeps evolving and changing.
Yeah. So maybe in a few years
You'll try it again.
we'll try again and go wear that orange uniform or something,
Maybe for Virgin.
which would be fun.
Yeah, yes, yes, yes. There's no more limits. There are no limits anymore. Fantastic. Thank you for bringing us to that speed. Now, we know that you are a woman who is dedicated to your work, to even supporting Joe's work. We want to know about the values because values are very important to us in the Stellar Women community. We want to know what values have shaped you to be the woman that you are, to be the partner that you are, to be the lady that you are, the leader that you are.
I think that determination really. I'm not a person who gives up that easily. And Joe is we are very similar character in that way. He is also very determined and very no, we just keep going. We just keep going till it's done. So I think the determination and integrity, I think, is probably you know the two main values that we have because we share a lot of the same similarities.
Yeah, fantastic. So it's determination and integrity.
Hmm.
Those are very important ones. Okay, fantastic. Now, we want to tell you that we know that there are always things that where you realize that this is me in this path. So we want to know, was there a moment where you realized that your path was not just besides Joe, but it was just uniquely yours, even if it's with Joe?
Um, no, not really, because I don't really have my own path as such. I am the path I tread is beside Joe,
Yeah,
and to support him and to make sure that he is able to do what he does. Um, he's just had his 90th birthday.
I know.
So
Congratulations.
it's to for him to keep doing what he's doing,
I
we
know.
have to tread the same path together because it takes two of us to do that.
Oh, fantastic, fantastic. And he's doing an amazing job at 90. And congratulations to that. I saw the birthday
Yeah.
celebration. Amazing, amazing. I know that we met at Women Changing the World High
Yes.
Tea Mastermind. I wanted to know that what inspired both of you, you and Joe, to be able to help in this initiative.
Well, I think that the way that sort of the world is evolving and women are taking a much more, a much more active rather than reactive, they're taking a much more proactive approach to their lives, really. Because I mean, I am a different generation. So I was born in the mid 60s and during the 70s, girls there was no the word entrepreneur and women even the word entrepreneur was just not a word that was bandied around. You didn't hear that kind of thing. So I think now we're in a situation where girls and women can be their own in charge of their own destiny, really. They can be entrepreneurs and they don't have to wait till somebody tells them that that's what you're allowed to do. They can make that decision for themselves. And hopefully that will come through. I mean, I'm not very well up on what the education system teaches girls. I travel the world too much. I don't really don't really watch the news. I don't really, I don't not really up to date with what is going on in the British schools in particular. Whether girls are being supported in, their desire to become an entrepreneur as opposed to just take a career. So, but that's what women now can be entrepreneurs without having to be told.
Fantastic. Yeah, that's very good. So this particular issue theme is about playing big. And we know that playing big to women, it's a bit it's scary as we are new into this arena of performance. Most of us don't even have past role models to really look at. Most of them are still new and we're getting into the vibe of everything. So I want to know, what does play big mean to you personally or professionally?
I think it just means no limits, really. Don't put barriers and boundaries around yourself. Put yourself on the whole playing field, not just at one end. Put yourself in the middle and use the whole of the field. Don't just, don't be confined into a corner.
I love that. That's amazing. Put yourself in the middle and use the whole field. There are no limits. Fantastic. Now, we want to know that from your own experience, can you share a moment when you consciously chose to play bigger, maybe way beyond your comfort zone?
I think probably when I first got asked to speak without Joe. That's because he's normally the speaker and I'm the one taking the pictures, holding everybody's phones while I take pictures with for him, for them. So I'm the one that's usually, so it was, I suppose that would be the step out of the norm. Stepping out of the norm is for me to actually speak, and to do podcasts like this as well, because it's normally Joe that everybody wants to talk to.
Yeah. Fantastic. So it's good to know that you play big at that level. That gives us also the ambition to actually speak up, step up. So how have your projects today, the projects that you do with Joe, whether to support startups, things that you shared, the book project that you shared as well during that mastermind, how have they allowed you to live a life or philosophy of playing big?
I think basically to do with the people that we meet. We meet the most amazing people from all sectors, from all walks of life, and I think it just gives you a much bigger and wider vision of the world. So we're able to communicate the message from with the book and reach so many more people. And then the more people you reach, the wider your network grows. You don't stay connected to every single person you meet, but you generally will. The more you share the message, the more you share your knowledge, the more people you will meet, and the bigger your world will become.
Very good. Thank you. Thank you. I know that I am interested in that book project as well, and I raised my hand so quickly to be associated with your book project, you and Joe Foster. That is really amazing. And these are series, are they? Aren't they?
Yes, yes, Survive and Thrive, they're called. We have just it's not completed, but we have now the 20 co-authors for volume 3. So that one is closed. And they're having to start a wait list for the fourth volume, which is actually going to be slightly different because there's going to be some extra special things because of Joe becoming 90. We're going to be add some special features that sort of like 90 something. It's a bit top secret at the moment. It's not
Okay.
been announced, but there'll be 90 slots for something that we that was so this one, the number 4 edition, is going to be slightly different but slightly more special. So
Must be.
that's
I
going to be a
raised my
really
hand for number 4.
right, that's really nice. It's going to be a really fun one to be part of.
Yeah. Oh, I raised my hand for that. I'm hoping to be part of that one. Excited to be, yeah. Okay. So I know that we talk about vision and you've talked about mentioned the word vision. What role does vision play in your ability to step into greater depth, play big influence and impact?
I think you have to vision is uh to me it's almost the same as knowledge. so that the more you know about the field that you want to be in, the more you know, say, about the sector that you want to operate in, knowledge will give you the vision. Because unless you know, unless you have the knowledge, you won't be able to have the vision. It's connected to knowledge. So whatever you want to do, whatever field you want to be in, whatever business you want to either start or grow in, the more knowledge you have, you will be able to see the bigger picture.
Oh my goodness, I've never heard of anyone connect vision to knowledge. That is amazing. Thank you so much. And it is indeed, it makes real sense because when you have knowledge, you're going to have a bigger vision. Your vision is going to be even bigger and bigger. So we need to invest in knowledge really to be able to
Yes.
speak. Fantastic. Now, as you play in this role, the roles that you play in logistics, managing all these big enterprises that are going on, what challenges have you faced into when stepping into either internally or externally? What challenges do you face in stepping into these positions of spotlight?
Of stepping into the spotlight. I think stepping into the spotlight, is not really any difficulty for me. I'm not shy from being able to speak and things like that. But I think one of the biggest challenges with the role that I take and the logistics is the time zone thing, is the time zone changing. It's trying to manage logistics on several different time zones. For example, we have a podcast happening at the end of this month, and we have had to find a time that works between Australia, here, the UK, and East Coast USA that works into everybody's working day. It's it's ridiculous. So, and we have like just the last 6 weeks, we have had time zone changes from Thailand. We have done Dubai, Thailand, Dubai, UK, Florida in the space of 6 weeks. And to try and manage the logistics because one of our startups is launching, there is a lot of press. So to try and manage the time zones to coordinate with all these time zone changes and interviews, and which are also global, it's very difficult. That is one of the biggest challenges that I have, is to try and sometimes we fail. Sometimes it comes into the calendar at one particular time and that's not right. And somebody's going, no, it's my time, it's that time, my time zone. And I'm going, I thought it was my time
My
zone. And
own.
no, no. That is one of the biggest challenges that we have, is the controlling the time zones. During January, we had to do an interview at 3 a.m. in the morning in Bangkok because it was live on US TV, and they are 12 hours round the clock different from Bangkok. So we literally had to do an interview at 3 a.m. in the morning.
That's time zones.
That's time zones. So that's one of the biggest challenges that I have.
Oh, yeah. It is quite a big challenge today as we go global, as we want to make impact. As the internet is facilitating, but they still they
Mm,
uncontrollable, the time zone. That is very true.
yeah.
Thank you for that. Now, I know that you've said that you don't have an issue with being in the spotlight. We want to know how have you navigated visibility at all, especially in the world where your husband is a known figure?
Um, I don't it doesn't worry me really. I don't have any specific, in thoughts on that. I'm basically one of these people that just does what has to be done. If I have to do it, if it needs to be done, I just do it. So it's just one part of me that I can adapt to a very many. I have done uh, many different roles. Joe had some small companies many years ago after he exited out of Reebok, and I have had a role in most of them, including being a fitness instructor, including uh, being part of a plants nursery, etc. So I'm very adaptable. So if it needs me to step out and do speaking or step out and do interviews, then I can quite easily just adapt to that. And I think that's one of the, if you're an admin logistical type person, I think that's one of the skills you have is adaptability, because logistics is you have to find a way around something. You have to make something happen. So you have to be able to adapt. You have to be able to move this way, that way, whatever it takes to get the job done.
Fantastic. That's very true. As you navigate the role or the skill set of logistics, so admin, actually, you're just becoming adaptable, um,
Mm.
and you can easily navigate all situations. Very good. Now, let us know in terms of women, because we're here to really help other women, especially learn from your own experience. What do you think holds women back from playing big, and what can you advice as a way in which women can step up into
I
taking?
think I think younger women in it should be much more given more opportunity or more advice and assistance in school and college, to help them grow more uh, into more forward thinking. That there's not just um, you know, don't just think that you have to go and find a career. There is more out there than just careers. So I think women should be supported more in earlier education, that to help them come from an earlier age, to be able to realize that you don't have to have a set path of career. You can go and try different things. You can become an entrepreneur. There are many now. In fact, a friend of ours, she takes part in quite a lot of them. These incubators, for entrepreneurs, and those should be open. The people that run those, and a lot of them are banks that run these incubators. Our friend, she was in two different bank in Manchester, two different bank interviews, incubators, and one that was run by the local authority. And I think there should be much more of that coming to girls and to women at a younger age. They should be coming, incubators should be coming to colleges and saying, do you have an idea for a business? Let us help you, in an incubator. You don't need to necessarily go to university. My daughter went to university and said it was a waste of 4 years.
Oh, oh
She
no.
said I could have done that in one.
Oh,
So, it's not necessary that you have to go to university. I think if with the right training earlier, women can go much more into their own space or their own choices sooner.
okay. Very good. So especially if they can start early, forward thinking. But if it's a woman who's if you look at women like myself today, what do you think what would be the way forward for them to be able to play big?
Again, I think it's knowledge. I think whatever you decide, you must have a decision. If you want to play big, in what? You must have some kind of idea of where you want to play, what you want to do. And then again, it's know that industry, learn knowledge. Knowledge is your superpower. So the more you can learn, again, the example of our friend that's gone in these incubators, go and find the assistants. And the incubators don't cost anything. There's no financial outlay to the incubators. They're usually provided as a service. Take all that knowledge, take all the information, and learn as much as you can about the field that you want to be in, and how to present yourself to potential customers, clients, all that kind of front end of an operation. That all is information that you need to learn. It's again comes back to the knowledge. Empower yourself with knowledge.
Empower yourself with knowledge. So that is a way forward for all women to be able to step up and be able to utilize whatever they have to utilize and play big. But remember, an opportunity for incubators. Yes, many people don't even have that knowledge. That is such facilitation that can enhance their lives and make their lives better. Thank you for sharing that. Now, we know that you're a woman who has done whatever you have shared already in terms of building Joe's legacy. What strength do you think women actually uniquely bring into leadership, into business, into legacy building, and into the world?
I think in general they bring stability. I think generally women are much more level, able to think. You don't have, there's a, I don't, can't remember the title of the book, but it's a psychology book. And it's, don't use your chimp brain. And I think women are less likely to use their chimp brain than men. So it's that, we have an issue, let's not react, let's take 30 minutes, then we will, while we process that, and then we will react. And you react in a much better, much more positive, and much more level way than instant reaction.
Essentially, so the stability they bring into
Yes.
leadership.
Yeah. And I think women are much more able to do that. They're much more able to take in something and think and then act.
Okay, fantastic. Now, I know that you're talking about different projects here in terms of even the strength that we are talking about. What have you been most passionate about in terms of supporting Joe and your own path? What have you been most passionate about? Which project in particular?
I think the one of keeping Joe's story correct is one of the biggest and most important things that we do. And that is the reason he wrote his book in the first place, was to keep the actual history, the story of Reebok and his family and his grandfather, is to keep that correct, because it can it can go off piste. It's like Chinese whispers sometimes, and his so that the most important part is to keep that story straight and to keep it correct.
Oh, that's so good. It has been very helpful to actually focus on that story because I got enlightened in terms of just hearing you and just share that story. It made it increased my passion for Reebok and really for Joe and your work as well. Yeah, it did because you have a story. And once you clip anything, a brand to a story, then it resonates and builds your emotional attachment
Of
to that.
course. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you did very well. Thank you for that. Now, what legacy are you and Joe building together now? What is it still the story building, or are you creating something else?
No, I think the main focus at the moment is alongside keeping Joe's story straight is the Survive and Thrive project. And that's encouraging people to share their story with the world, because everybody has a story.
Yes, indeed. And we like stories because stories help us. That's why the Stellar Woman magazine was created to check up perspectives through stories. Yeah.
Yeah, but as part of being a co-author in the group, you then also belong to a network group that is now we have about 60 members, and they are now all working together. So they're doing business together, they're sharing opportunities, they go off speaking, like four or five of them will go to one particular event and they all go doing the speaking. So somebody will say, "Oh, I need some speakers," and off they all go doing the speaking events.
Wow.
And then they're working together. And even the other day, I need a couple of connections for a project that we are perhaps going to be working on in the coming months. And I'm like, right, does anybody have a connection to here, here, and here? And the network answered, and we have we're working on the connections I need now to help this project that's going to happen in a few months. So, it's a very nice group, and they're global, so we meet up around the world. We have little, somebody will say, right, I'm going to be in Dubai, blah, blah, blah. And then, oh, I'm coming. Oh, I'll be there. And then they all arrange to have coffee or lunch, whatever. So it's a very nice community that it's building, a business community.
Oh, fantastic. Networking is big. It's a good way to grow.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Grow business, even personally.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
amazing. Thank you. Now, I don't know if you do any support for women or mentor women, especially in starting up new ventures, going into their dreams. Is there anything like that?
We only at the moment we only have one lady entrepreneur that we help. And the other ones are all guys. They're all, yeah, for some reason, although we are connected with a couple of women, we don't directly support them, but we kind of indirectly support them. They they use us, if they one in particular, she has her brand is called Fern and Rosie, and she has it's jam, and it's a very low sugar jam. She's doing really well, and she'll send me her deck to send out to our networking when she's doing the next rounds of raising. So whilst we're not directly supporting her, we're kind of indirectly supporting her. But the three that take up the bulk of our time are guys and one girl. And
Oh,
she's not even a girl. She's actually she's
oh
actually over 60, but
my.
she's new to entrepreneurism. So it proves that there's no age limit.
There's no age limit. Yes, you shared that story about her during the high tea, and that was it was
Yes.
good to hear. Yeah. Okay, so you also shared something about fear of failure. And I wanted you to help our women, our subscribers, to actually hear your perspective of fear of failure, because that is one reason that will stop women from either venturing into their dreams or even going into big arenas and being in the center of that game and taking up the middle space. It is the fear of failure. Can you help us to really demystify that?
You don't look at there's no such thing as failure. Failure, all that is just a lesson. It's just a lesson that you learn so that we don't do that again. So it's not a failure. Don't look at failures as a disaster. They are lessons that you have learned to take forward to the next level.
Fantastic. So if we can just have that as our understanding of experience, then we can do anything.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Failures are just lessons.
Okay. So on that, tell us one belief that you hold that you think has changed the way you do everything. Maybe a belief that you hold.
Um, the keep going. That there's nothing really that you can't either get over, go under, or go round. You just have to keep going in
Okay.
whichever direction. It doesn't necessarily need to be forward. It can
Yeah.
be over, it can be under, it can be left, or it can be right. But but you can always move somewhere.
Move somewhere. Just keep moving.
Yes.
That's a
Keep
good
going.
one.
Hmm,
Yes. So we never get stuck if we can
correct.
just have that. Fantastic. So what are your stellar woman attributes? If it's a stellar woman, what do you think? What are those attributes you think a stellar woman should have?
Um, I think the belief in your own capability, I think is a big, you know, it don't be insecure. Know that you can do anything you put your mind to it. And if you don't know how to do it, learn how to do it. Again, we come back to knowledge. If you don't know how to do something, then you have to learn it. And I think and there is no limit to you learning. There is and you have no limit to the amount that you can learn. And I think that's a stellar woman would my thing would be just go and learn everything, and then nothing will stop you.
Nothing will stop you if you have the knowledge. Fantastic. Now we want to ask this question. What do you think people don't know about Julie Foster?
What do they not know? They don't know probably that I'm a colorist. I color with coloring pencils. I'm a colorist.
Do you do that all the time, every day?
And not every day. I don't have time every day, but I do quite a bit. In fact, behind the computer there is a stack of pencils and coloring book.
Fantastic. That's very good. So you have tapped into that. I love coloring as well. It's beautiful. Beautiful. Now we want to know if the next generation of stellar women were listening to you right now, what do you want them to know about their power to play big?
Um, that it is not, it is only limited by yourself. The only limits on playing big is what you limit yourself to. So you have to remove your own limits.
The power is into us to remove our own limits. That's powerful. That's really powerful. Back, the power is back to you. You have to to put up your own limits.
Yeah.
Very good. Thank you for sharing that. And we want to know, if you had a magic wand, what would you want? What world would you put up for women and girls today?
Um,
What change would you like them to experience?
Equality.
Equality. Thank you.
Mm,
Thank
yeah.
you.
All girls equal from birth.
Okay.
So
Oh,
that's in education,
from Bath.
in society, yeah,
Yeah.
in life.
Fantastic. Thank you. Now, if you had to go back to your younger self, 15-year-old, what message would you give her?
Um, don't be limited by the fact that you're only 5'3".
Oh, bless her. She would take that, definitely would take that
Yeah,
and conquer the world. She
yeah.
would do that. And do you have a mantra?
Just keep going.
Keep going is beautiful.
Just keep going. Just keep going.
Going. Do you have a morning ritual that we can capture?
Um, Coffee.
Coffee.
Fruit and
Coffee,
coffee. That's my morning rituals, fruit and coffee.
fruit and coffee.
Yeah,
Fruit
good coffee. Joe is an extremely good barista. So we like our coffee. So coffee in this house is very important.
and coffee in the morning, and that's it. You will have a great day. Yeah.
Yes,
Very good.
yes.
So we want to always have a challenge that we like our guests to put up for the women, the listeners, our subscribers, to help them to play big. So what challenge would you leave those who are going to listen to this interview?
Um, it's it take this year. I know we're a fifth of the way through it, 2025, and learn a new skill. So learn a new skill every single year.
Wow. So this year they can learn a new skill.
And
And
it doesn't need to be connected to business. It can be anything.
yeah.
It can be a new sport, it could be a new hobby, it could be a new skill for your business. It could be anything, but learn a new skill every year.
Learning new skill every year. And would that help to play big?
Well, yeah, because the more skills you have, the bigger playing field you can play on.
Okay. So skillfulness. So we need to have all the skills. The more skills you have, the more you are able to play big.
Yes.
That's it. Oh, great. Thank you so much, Jolie, for your time. Thank you for really the time, the knowledge that you've been able to provide to us and sharing all your experiences. We know that we are going to be able to keep moving. We are going to remember to believe in ourselves and not forget the key aspect, which is knowledge. Keep learning,
Keep
utilize
learning.
all the knowledge, and you will conquer the world. No limits for you.
Yes, correct. That's it.
Thank you very much. It has been me, Stella Kikoyo, your editor-in-chief of the Stella Woman magazine and host of the Stella Woman show, and Julie Foster here. And Julie is married to Joe Foster of Reebok. And it has been so much an honor to have you. And I'm sure you are going to take one or two things and definitely make a change in your life. Thank you all for listening. Until next time, bye bye.